What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be diving back into doing our new player quest after doing our couple days of cleanup here on our account. Now we are pretty much at a decent point overall, I think, with currency, as we do have 9,500 gold, which we have a possibility of getting at least somewhere around 10,000 by the end of this video, on top of whatever gold we earn for the daily wins. We already have 1,450 gems, and because we completed the color challenge, we now have 10 commons, 5 uncommons overall in our collection to start off without even opening a single pack just yet, which is definitely going to be very good. And like I said, we're going to be moving on back into our new player quest overall, which is going to be get to Sparky Rank, or Spark Rank Tier 2, Sparky Rank, whatever you want to call it. This is kind of like the next and final steps of the overall challenge, as I do believe after this, it's then get to Spark Rank Tier 1. And then from there, it's just pretty much complete it, as we've pretty much done the rest of the new player things that the game wants to introduce you to as a newer player. If we click on this, it will bring us immediately to Spark Rank. It does show us that we do have the other rank ladders unlocked, but if we click on them, they're not like ready to be played overall. As you see here, none of our decks are good to go in these, because all the starter decks, I will throw it out there, do contain cards that are only playable in Alchemy. And that's why you see these numbers of, for example, there's 3 cards here, 4 cards there, so on and so forth. So if you are someone who's looking to maybe upgrade these starter decks, you'll have to think about that. But if we go back to Spark Rank, we are just going to dive in. Probably, for the most part, we'll take a quick look at what our daily quest is. It wants us to play 20 blue or green spells. We're going to re-roll it because, you know, always the chance of getting bonus gold. 250 gold is definitely very big. But we did not get any sort of bonus roll, but we do have the ability to get 500 gold if we play blue or red spells. And the one good thing is, because we have this Arcane Aggression deck, this deck by itself should get us there just in a game or two, depending how long it takes. Like with the rest of the Spark Rank, you don't lose any rank by losing. You only gain rank every time you win. I believe every rank does have 4 wins it takes to get to the next rank. So depending on how well we do, it may take us a couple of games, it may take us a bunch of games, as you do get rewarded the more games you win in a row. But we're going to dive into the Arcane Aggression. And even at this point, personally, I don't think you need to start spending currency, start really messing around, build in other decks. I think using the decks the game gives you is perfectly fine to get through the rest of the new player challenge. And then once you complete that, and then you move into the other ladders or the play queue in general, I do think that's where you want to start really figuring out what you want to build overall. So we are still in the process of just using what the game gives us. We're not going to be using anything to kind of help these decks in any sort of way. So we'll just kind of take a deck, we'll hit play, and dive into a game. We're on the play. Hand's fine. I mean, it could be better, but we have some ways to draw cards and incubate, so I do think it's not a bad overall open in hand. Might as well just continue playing our tap lands, gain a little bit of life in the process. Our opponent's playing white is what we're seeing so far. Maybe. And this is the life gain deck, so not super worried just yet. We have Lightning Strike. Unless they can gain a bunch of life this turn, we're not bad there. They have another one. They just swing for 1, I would assume. Okay, or not. We're just going to activate. And we're going to swing it for 3. I mean, if they block, it's kind of weird. But we'll swing at them for 3 and see what happens. And they don't do anything, which is weird. Alright, our deck is like, hey guy, why don't you play all those Lightning Strikes? So they must have some sort of crazy big, I don't know, some sort of big crazy creature that they can cast that they're just not swinging with their 1/1s. I mean, my hope here is just to catch them off guard, sure. I guess they just drew the stray. It just seems weird that they wouldn't draw or play a single card here, or swing. It's like they're just sitting back. So just very confused by their lines here. See if they block with their lifelinker, which I assume they would. I'm just going to kill it if they don't. Okay, or not. End turn. I guess their goal is to attack in with their lifelinker. Because they have not pumped their creatures. They've so far taken 9 damage from a 3/3. And they have not attacked when they clearly had openings. Well, we'll just get rid of that. Sure. I'll get rid of a shore up. That's perfectly fine, I think, overall. Being of the Mines, solid. We'll just pay 4 mana. Okay. They're just gonna take 6. I guess maybe they have another way to gain some life. I'm not really sure. Card's fine. They have a follow-up. Gain some life. Nope. Sure. Get rid of the reinforcements. I mean, Gandalf is a card that we could play. I mean, they assume the block is with the 2/2. Sure. I just don't know which one I want to do here. I guess we'll do... No. I guess all of them are fine. We'll have it deal 3 damage to each opponent. And GG's. Alright, we're on the play. Hand's solid. Has removal, has things, so we'll keep. Just need to draw a 3rd land, and our hand is pretty good overall. So, definitely have some options. This is definitely a good combat trick if our opponent's not expecting it. Especially with a 1st striker. Land would be lovely. And then we'll Zephyr Sentinel at the end of their turn, and then we'll just bounce the 1st striker. And then this will become a 3/2 flyer. Sure. My turn. Bounce this. Alright. We're still missing a 3rd land, so we're going in this heavy with just 2 lands. If they want to remove it, it's fine. And that seems like maybe their turn, unless they have... Okay, they got a land. Nice, nice. Still missing a land. All right, we're in this. We're in this deep. They have 4 lands. We're definitely behind. They just got to play a creature, and they're pretty good. 3/4 is definitely a very solid card. I guess they're going to put Lightning Strike on top, because that's what I would do. Plus, that's their only option. Yeah, not drawing that land is kind of big. So we'll see what they do here. They may attack and kill something. They probably will attack the recruitment officer. Kind of bad for us that we just did not draw our land at all. I think the deck has 24. Awkward that we didn't draw it. We'll start with that card. Perfectly fine. Perfectly good card. Yes, you have 4 lands. I have 2. Always interesting to see what kind of thought process people go with when it comes to this. They're like examining like their lands. They have mountains. They have an island. They have 2 dual lands. They have playables. Like they have a playable because of the Lightning Strike holding priority. Yeah, we'll pass the blockers. And we're actually going to block here, which our opponent may be like, what is going on? But we'll deal 3 damage to it with this. And then our first strike will kill it. And there is a 3rd land. So definitely overall pretty decent. We'll play our big old 3-3. So if they decide to get rid of it, it's not bad. We'll attack with this because they could block, but I don't think they should. And get some extra points of damage. Now my assumption would be that they probably kill this, and that's kind of why I did it, so I could follow that up with a better play. And then we get the token, which is going to be beneficial to us. So the next creature we play in after this will come in with 2+1/+1 counters on it, so it won't be just sure. Okay, they figured out that the attack all button does 5. No. We'll take 5. Not a big deal. Now, the real question is, do they play counters? That is the real question. They have to do something about it now, or they can't on our turn. And now we have a big ol' 5/6. So they really need to kind of figure out how to get around this. I don't know if the deck has enough to do 6 damage, but they could play 2 spells. And I would actually just take another few points of damage here. I would be in the driver's seat, and after I attack him with the Merrill, we'll have blockers. So once we kind of get to that point, I think the game is in our favor. That's fine. We also have Elspeth sent in, so we have some good cards here, and we could get some soldiers out on the battlefield to make Merrill better. Now the question is, do they attack in? If they don't, that means they don't have a combat trick. I would personally shove to give the illusion that there could be a combat trick. And I'm just going to do that there. Yeah, this is all fine. Not that card, but that card is definitely good. And we'll attack in. We'll get 2 blockers. Their creature, they can't do anything on our turn, so that's just a free attack. That's why reading the card helps explain the card, because some people don't realize Merrill's ability makes it so that we have full control on our turn. And they can't do anything on our turn. Essentially turns the game into I go. You don't do anything in response unless you block. And now their Trampler does not have anything. It's nice. Is the last spell. We'll play this. Keep filling that board up. We'll attack in. Get a bunch of soldiers. And our opponent has to block. At least with 1 creature, or they're dead. And I think they just scoop it up because they're too far behind. Even if they had a spell, the following turn would be too much for them. First time seeing Resolute Reinforcements, also Valiant Veteran, both solid cards. Double tap land, but we're on the draw. I still think it's keepable. If we're playing against a starter deck, it's definitely not the worst. Downside, unfortunately, no turn 1 Savior. And it looks like they're on some sort of combination of white-red. I'm not sure 100% on the extent of their white-red deck, but definitely we're seeing white and red cards from the base starter deck. So maybe white-red with life gain and removal. Not sure. 2-1 Haster? Sure. Now the question is, do they have the white? Seems like they have stick. If you feel the game pause there, that means there's some sort of playable. We'll start here. If they have a combat trick here, that's perfectly fine. We'll absorb the most amount of damage. Our creature will die in the process, but they'll both die because they'll both gain first strike. They get a scry out of it, but then they'll still kill each other because they both have first strike. Following turn, we could follow that up with the Resolute Reinforcements. All right, that card is in play, tapped, but, you know, we did draw our third land when we needed to. Reinforcements will kind of catch them off guard, so we'll kind of see what they do here. That's perfectly fine. And I guess they're also playing... my guess is they're also playing the enchantment that will make them deal damage based on how many. I'm perfectly fine with them getting a goblin out of this, since we have another one. Sure. If you're going to shock to remove a goblin, or to remove a creature, I'm perfectly happy with that. We're still at a total of 20, and we're actually going to play this guy. So it's a big 3/3 that blocks very well with the board. And if they just keep on getting goblins and we're getting rid of their big 10 street guys, it's still fine. Sure. We'll block one. We'll slowly fill the board up with creatures. We'll play a Recruitment Officer, blocks the board well, and we'll pass. They may be aggressive and attack again, which they're not. Then we'll just flash in Resolute Reinforcements. Very bad about drawing our cards. I'll give him this if they want to do it. So I'll start doing damage to them. I still have very good blockers here. They could have removal spell. They're going to block 2. If we're going to lower their amount of tokens they have, then I'm perfectly happy. And I'm just going to pass. I'm going to scry 2. Because I do think finding a land is going to be good. And then we will play our lovely big ol' 3/1 that will help us produce another token. I'm going to start being aggressive because having 1/1s block 1/1s, I'm getting rid of their guy. And I still have a 3/1 on defense. And I feel like that was a very good chain of attacks for us. I mean, I don't know what they've been holding, unless it's a bunch of burn or it's a bunch of land. I'll give you 3 life. And if they have an answer for our Valiant Veteran, then we are good. If not, we're in the lead. And now they have to fill the board up or they're going to die next turn. And they have to play more than just one creature. Yeah, this is fine. And our opponent saw the writing on the walls. And we got ourselves there. Up to rank number 2. Got ourselves a nice claim of our Brother's War Pack. We get a little bit of gold and a little bit of experience for the Battle Pass. And now the next step is to get to rank tier 1, which is then after that would be the last step of the overall Sparky Pass. We could do it possibly in 2 games if we play very well. We get ourselves another pack of Phyrexia. We'll take a quick look at the packs. You'll see that we now have 2 packs of Brothers War, which is definitely pretty sweet. We will dive in, hopefully get ourselves there. I will keep on playing High Flying Valor until I guess we lose. All right, we're on the play. Hand's perfectly solid. We have 3 lands, so this has been better than all the other games. So we'll play the plains. They're playing some sort of mono-white deck. Looks to be some sort of maybe lifelink deck. I'm not really sure. I'm going to play a second plains, and we're just going to pass. No point in using laydown arms yet. This will catch maybe their lifelinker guy off guard. Or we can just Resolute Reinforcements. All of this is definitely very playable. Sure. Now, if they are just strictly playing the mono-white life gain deck. There is a possibility that they could have some sort of targeted removal. We'll just continue to get rid of this. They can gain a little bit of life out of it, but it doesn't really hurt us. And we'll pass. We have a good blocker. And see if they have another cat. If not, no big deal. They did splash a little bit of black, so interesting what we're doing here. We got to fly in, enters the battlefield, surveil 1, and then they can exile it from a graveyard and draw a card and lose a life. Okay, okay, not bad, not bad. And now we're kind of staring at each other. I mean, if they use removal on this, I'm perfectly happy with it. Because it's only a 1/2. And my gut would say you don't attack unless you have a combat trick. So we will play our soldiers. We'll play our other soldier. We'll swing in. And now you're taking 6. I guess they're happy with taking 6, so that's interesting overall. Now the real question is, what is their big play if they took the 6? Ossification, sure. That is one way to deal with it. Skeleton, all right. We'll get rid of their lifelink here. And then we'll just get rid of this. We'll scry 2. I'll take the land first and then the next step. And I don't care if they kill something. Might as well swing all out. Be aggressive. So I'm happy with that. They can deal 1 to us. I think next turn we just build up for something, because I don't think playing this playing our Marrow immediately is going to be very good for us. And just kind of put that pressure on, because I do feel like they may have some sort of removal and they're looking for a good target. Sure. Also, our opponent does not win this race, so I'm unsure exactly what they're trying to do. We keep the land. We'll keep both cards. And we're basically in the driver's seat unless our opponent can deal with the board. Because next turn we can ambush Paratrooper with our land on the top of the battlefield. Gaining a life is perfectly good. We swing in, we activate, team grows, and lethal. Our opponent's going to go first. Hand solid overall. We got our Sky Strike officer, we got a recruitment officer, we have a lay down arms. We are missing another planes to get rid of anything that is bigger than 1 mana cost. So that is the one downside. Turn 1, play our tap land is always a strong play. I put that in the wrong spot. So there's a possibility this is like the Rebel artifact deck. Or the Rebel equipment deck, I should call it, not Rebel artifact. But I do think this hand is definitely set up for success. Yeah, they're going to have a 2/2. Which is not bad. But I might as well just kind of take the board advantage and make them kind of catch up. And get rid of their creature. And then we'll kind of grow the board slowly. We have cards that will help us progress the battlefields on the ground. And they could have another equipment here, which is more than likely, because I think a lot of the equipments in the deck do cost at least one. We'll play the officer, because that will set up our air game. We'll pass. And now I'm kind of just waiting for them to play their like big creature. Or their big equipment, and then we'll use like a prison sentence on something. The Sky Strike Officer being able to attack in is going to be very good for us. I mean, there is also a possibility I just block with the Recruitment Officer if they're willing to sacrifice it. And there is our target that we're going to definitely prison sentence. And they must have found an equipment, so that is kind of why there's a pause. And they got themselves a Dragon Wing Glider. Which is not bad. Well, prison sentence here. We'll take the untap land. And we'll just swing in one. Because I know I'll get a soldier out of it. It makes a very good blocker. But now our goal is to grow the board wider than their board. And kind of deal with it that way. And we have a lot of creatures in our hand that will help us do so. And then all we need after that is probably our Soldier Lord. Sure. Nahiri is definitely a good card. Block. All right. That went perfectly fine for us. We'll play our lovely guy, and we'll just continue to swing. Get a token, deal 3, and turn. If they kill any of our regular soldiers, then we're good there. Or Mirrodin, just fine. Doesn't have haste. Doesn't have... actually... We'll do it that way. And that's all. That's 4 points of damage. And then we'll tap 1, 2, 3. And draw a card. And then we'll get a new token. And then we'll tap 1, 2, 3. And we'll draw a card. And then we'll play the beachfront. Play another flyer. And a nice little +1/+1 counter here. A +1/+1 counter on our flyer. And we get a nice little guy on the ground. And we're good. So far we're in a good spot. We'll respond. We'll tap these. It's fine. I mean, if you got 2, then good for you. Or if you have removal, also good for you, because I'm all about you playing removal. Sure. I'll take 4. And then we're actually going to play it on the token. If the token can't attack, then that's good for us. And if we're not able to do anything that way, we'll attack on the ground. So now they can play their big creature that they've been holding on to this whole time. Yeah, I mean, they don't have a ground creature to block with, and they're dead, so they can play their 5 mana cost card. Sure. Makes sense. All right, deal with my board or you're dead next turn. You can equip all the things you want to all your creatures. Sure. I would take all the damage. Even if you gained 4, I would take the damage. I still think I win this battle. Block however you want. Sure. You have a 6/4 lifelinker that you block something with. Probably block my biggest creature because you'll kill it. Go to 14. We get a token. Down to 1. All right, what do you got for me? Got to see some cards. Sure. It's a 6/6 haster. I know exactly what I'm doing next turn. I have a flyer, so gotta figure out the air game. Probably attack in. I would say you at least attack in. I don't have any blocks. And I can tap and probably play this for the Unearth, get the additional counter. You have a free equipment. All these costs, well, I guess they have the equip for 1. Sure. You have a land? Probably should have put it there. We'll absorb as much we can. And they saw the writing on the walls. Opponent goes first. Hand's all right. Very tap land heavy yet again. Not the worst. But we'll keep. Our opponent mulliganed, which is good for us. So maybe that just means that they didn't get a good opening hand. And then they may struggle in the later game. Which going first and sometimes mulligan is not always the best decision since you don't get the additional draw. So you sometimes really want your open hand to be kind of like... Even 2 lands, depending on what the casting cost is not bad. So... It is definitely one of those things, though. You do have to hope that one of your next 2 cards are that probably the 3rd land that you're looking for. Or if you get a hand that's like a mix, like you're playing 2-color deck and you only have like 1 color, probably good hand to mulligan, even open in. Or you're like all your cards cost like 4 or more and you have no like opening cards. Seems like our opponent's playing the same deck, which is fine. We'll gain a life. It'll just be a matter of who probably then gets the better opening hand, I would say, in this matchup. Them getting the beachhead immediately is kind of good because this is going to be their way to pump the squad later in the game without actually having to have the creature. I'll take 1. A second recruitment officer is kind of unique here. Could play both, but then we don't really have another turn play. So I do think it's just play a recruitment officer. Kind of say go. I'm going to say they have resolute reinforcements. Or the 1/2. One of those 2 things, those are 2 flash spells that hold priority. We'll take another 1. Not a big deal here. This may be a good ability to use on the 1/2 because we don't want them to activate the ability. No blocks. We did get our feature, but I don't think we're super concerned immediately about what could happen on the board. We also have our Soldier Lord if we can get that mana. So this may come down to whether or not we got whoever gets their team to be pumped first will lose or win. I mean... I'll take that block all day, which is good for us. Gets rid of a way for them to deal with that. Card's perfectly fine. It is a big card, but I'm not 100% worried about it. I think we swing it for 3 in the air. And I do think we slow them down. And then make them have to figure out how to deal. I think we'll do this. 1 top, 1 bottom. We'll kind of choke ourselves on land, but I don't think it will turn out to be a big deal. They do have to draw 2 more lands to use the beachhead. Their board's not too scary. Alright, they have to draw 1 more land to use the beachhead. But having only 1 creature that can only attack is not bad. We have this card on top to probably lock down whatever they're going to play this turn, if they do, to get that +1/+1 counter. Currently, they don't have any way to deal with that, get rid of that card. I don't think there is a card in the deck. We'll go to combat. Does seem like there is some sort of sting, like sticking there. Not sting, but stick. So we're not 100% sure what it could be. We'll attack first, we'll then play this, and then we'll pass. And this could be the turn that they play Resolute Reinforcements. But I do think we're far enough ahead that if they were to take a turn to beachhead us, we have very good attacks back. Sure. And that is going to be a very good card for us to kind of lock down. And our opponent may go ahead and draw. If that's the case. And they don't do anything. And we'll just play our Paratrooper. Get our land, which is going to be good for us. We'll just lock down this card. That means they can't draw their card if that's what they were trying to do. They should have drew their card first. We'll take the blue land just because having an extra land is very good. And they can't draw a card. So that was the turn they had to tap down if they wanted to. And we may just have GGs. Because we resolve an island and then are able to use our ambusher. Or we can do the safe play and play the amp. You know what? We'll just play Meryl. We'll Meryl it up. And that means it pretty much locks them out from doing anything on our turn. Yeah, now they're looking at their hand and they're like, well, crap. Should have done something. Because Meryl, I think, turns off everything. That's 5. That's 4. We'll just do 4. Can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts. Yep. That's what Meryl does. So, if you have like an Elspeth's whatchamacallit, can't do it. They can't draw a card. Can't really do much here. I'm at 18. I wouldn't even be scared to block. Like, blocking. Don't need to. No blocks. I'll take the 1 or 2 points of damage if that's what you're going to do. And then your follow-up spell is a Rescue Retriever. Sweet. And then we'll just pump the board and go wide. And they can block a 4/5 and still take lethal in the air. And we'll get the salty rope that our opponent's just going to sit here and rope. Or not. And rank 1. So now we're just 1 tier away from... We got our pack of Phyrexia. Sweet. Added to the collection. We got some gems. We got some gold. I mean, some gold, and we got some XP. We're done with the weekly quest until Sunday, I believe. We have 6 wins on the day, which is what took us to get to rank 1. Now our next goal of our challenge will just be to complete the Spark rank, which is just get to rank 1, or complete through rank 1, which then in theory unlocks the rest of the game. Basically, I mean, we're at that point where everything is unlocked, so if we wanted to just kind of deviate from the Spark rank, we could if we want to jump into an event outside of... the starter deck duels and jump in. Outside of that, I mean, our account is progressing along very well. We have 10,000 gold sitting here. That's enough for 10 packs in theory of whatever we want to buy. 1,400 gems, which is definitely very good. We still have the commons and uncommons, but these will go up once we start cracking pack. In the next video, we are probably going to just progress through the last rank of Spark, and then we'll probably start opening packs and kind of adding cards to our collection. So I do think that's where we're going to go there. I am looking for some suggestions on what you guys think I should build with my limited collection. I'm not really sure what will be accessible, but I do like to hear your thoughts and ideas about what you think would be a cool deck to see me build with a free-to-play account. I know some decks do require a lot of mythics and rares, so I would hope that you guys suggest things that are a little more approachable or I could access with maybe not having a ton of cards, because there are decks that require like more than half of the deck is rares and mythics. But if we look at quick count at our packs, we'll have an option of opening 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 27, 30 to 38. And that's not even before I actually add in the additional packs. So we have 38 packs just on our account here, which will give us a big boost to overall rares just off of this, as well as uncommons, and then whatever we get in the packs. And then we have probably about, I think, another about 16 or so. I don't actually, 16 doesn't make any sense. Maybe like 15 to 18 or so more packs on top of this. And then whatever we get through our battle pass free tier, as I do think we are still 2 levels away from getting another pack, but next level we get a mastery orb, which is, it's okay. It's not something we're really trying to do. It's just more cosmetics, but free cosmetics are always good for the account. But with that being said, if you liked the video, hit that like button. Definitely helps out a lot as we get closer and closer to the end of our new player part of this experience. If you want to know when I post videos like this one here on the channel, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, I'll see you in the next video.